Hey there, welcome to Craft Central Designs. Today I'm sharing with you two very cute, very inexpensive to create and very novice crafter friendly Christmas ornaments, perfect for a gingerbread tree or a traditional eclectic theme tree. Let me show you how I created these very, very cute ornaments. Please remember to subscribe if you are not currently a subscriber, and give this tutorial a thumbs up. And let me know in the comments what you think of these ornaments and which one is your favorite. It's actually four of the same ornament, just painted a little bit differently. And then we have the gingerbread ornament right in the center. Okay, let's get creating. Let me show you what you need to create these ornaments. As I mentioned, very, very inexpensive. All right, I'm using another one of these MDF gingerbread wood cutouts. They're 4 inches tall and 3.5 inches across. I've already painted it. I love Crafter's Collection in the color cedar bark. Now, I've done so many ornaments with this particular gingerbread. Very easy to find on Amazon, and a great piece. They come, I believe it comes like 8 or 10 in in one order. I ordered mine last year, and I'm still using them. So yeah, they'll last you for a while, but they're awesome. You're going to need some type of heating something, a mini Cricut heat press or an iron. And I put Mod Podge, a good layer of Mod Podge on my gingerbread. Now, I picked up a piece of lace at Hobby Lobby. It wasn't quite wide enough, so I pieced it together. But what I love about this lace was it was a heavy lace and a really, really pretty pattern. It was a flat lace. It was not gathered. So this is what ultimately I have been trying to achieve. I've done a couple other ones of these, one with a very lightweight lace and another one with a kind of polka dotted tulle. But this particular one was what I've had in my head wanting to create this particular look. And I finally found this lace that suited that particular image in my head. And I love the way it turned out. It's just simple and beautiful. And I love this lace. Like I said, I had to piece it together, which is very easy to do. But I wanted it to look a particular way on that gingerbread. So I didn't bother trimming it in any type of shape, just big enough to go over the top of that gingerbread. Now I'm only doing one side. So I went ahead and I used parchment paper, and I reactivated that Mod Podge by pressing over that parchment paper all over my gingerbread from every aspect of the gingerbread. So I wanted to be sure that that was really, really adhered well. Now, you're going to need some sharp scissors to trim this up. Sorry, I'm like almost out of frame there. I was concentrating. But anyway, you got the idea. You're going to trim it up all around the piece, all around the gingerbread, right up close to the border or the perimeter of the gingerbread. Now, like I said, we've done similar ones before, so, this is nothing really new to you, but I did finish it off in a little bit of a different way, and I just think this is so, so beautiful. I really, really love it. Now, notice in the top of that gingerbread, I don't know what you call that, but I'm going to call it an eyelet screw. That's what I'm going to call it. I really don't know what it's called. It's a ring with a screw on it. It's some type of little something that you can screw into things with like a little eyelet hook kind of. I don't even know where you would purchase something like this. I took that one off of something else, but I'm going to guess that you could find it at like a hardware store. This one's really small. Now, do you have to have it? No, you don't have to have it. Another option would be just drilling a very shallow hole and then knotting up your hanger and pushing that little knot down in the hole so that the ornament hangs straight. You could try that, or you could just glue it onto the back of the head. I just had that little eyelet screw, whatever you call it, and I screwed it into the top of the head of my gingerbread. I thought, why not? I have it. Maybe you have something like this, and maybe you might even know what it's called, because I don't. So, yeah, let me know in the comments if you know what that thing is called. But it was really a great piece for the top of this gingerbread. I just screwed it right in the top of the head. And now I'm going to feed my hanger right through that. Okay, so everything's all trimmed up, as obviously it is, because now I am just going over the entire laced area of that gingerbread. And I'm just sealing everything in. And I don't know, I just love it. It's just exactly what I had in mind. So I finally achieved that. And I did love the other ones that I did as well, but this one especially, I especially like this one. Okay, so I wanted my gingerbread to be holding a little candy cane. So I picked up a little mini candy cane at Walmart. I'll talk more about that in a minute. What I'm doing here is taking my very tiny rickrack that I pick up at Hobby Lobby every other week. It's 40% off in the sewing department. And I'm going to use my hot glue gun, and I'm going to be very careful that I just barely squeeze the trigger to get just a tiny amount of glue all along the perimeter of my gingerbread, because I'm putting that rickrack all around there. And this was a beautiful finishing touch on this. I love this one so much. I'm making 3 more for my gingerbread themed tree that I'm creating for the Quantum House. So yeah, I'm a busy girl, very, very busy girl. So I'm creating a whole lot of decor for numerous projects. I'm even doing some projects for an auction for the Quantum House, and I'll be talking more about that in the week to come, in 2 weeks to come. So you know what I decided? I was going to put a different type of a hanger on this one. I decided to use that narrow rickrack. What a great idea, right? For a gingerbread tree. Now, what I'm going to do with this is determine how long I want my hanger. And then I'm going to cut it accordingly. And then I'm just going to overlap the rickrack right on top of itself. Does that make sense? Just overlap it so it's one continuous circle of rickrack. Just like that with my glue gun. And I'm going to match up the rickrack because I'm very, fanatical like that. And once I get that matched up and sealed up, look what I just did. I snipped it right off. Like, what was I doing there? I don't know what I was doing there. Doing it again, putting some hot glue on there. I'm going to reapply the rickrack. Then what I'm going to do is just flip that hanger so that the seam is underneath that little eyelet piece that's holding that hanger. Okay, that little candy cane was at Walmart, and it's in this section where the little mini ornaments are. It did have a little hanger on it. I just took my wire cutters and snipped that right off. I wanted just a touch of color on this one, and so I'm just going to hot glue that candy cane right into the hand of my gingerbread. And this ornament is complete. Very, very easy to do. So pretty. And can you imagine this hanging on a gingerbread tree? I can. I absolutely love it. Tell me what you think of this one. So quick and easy. Now, for the painting of that gingerbread, of course, I did that off camera. You've seen me paint enough gingerbreads in the past 3 weeks and during Christmas in July for sure. But I put just 2 coats on the front and the back and the sides. Okay. These wood ornaments, ridiculously cheap. They are, I believe, $2.49. And you get 6 of them in a pack. You do the math. Do you know how many ornaments you could make for like $1.25? I mean, gosh, this is the best thing that Hobby Lobby has in their crafting Christmas department. I'm telling you, the possibilities, for these ornaments, unbelievable. I'm going to be doing a few videos on these coming up because I need these for various purposes. Okay, I have this pretty ribbon that I picked up in the sewing department at Hobby Lobby. I have a very narrow polka dot, a narrow red with white stitching, and then my fave ribbon, which is in the Christmas department. Polka dots on one side, stripes on the other. Love, love. And here's another example of a great polka dot ribbon that they have at Hobby Lobby. You choose what you want on your ornament, but I'm just offering options. And I definitely think that a ribbon at the top of these ornaments really, really finishes them off beautifully. They come with a red kind of satin ribbon. I would just get rid of those real quick into the trash. Okay, these ornaments are, I believe, they're almost 4 inches, so they're a very nice size. Now I'm going to paint 2 in a red color, which is Crafter's Collection in the color red. Crimson Waverly chalk paint is another great option. It's a nice shade of red as well. And I'm going to place 2 coats of paint on the front and the back and the sides. For my white, I use Snow White Waverly chalk paint, front, back, and sides. For the cap of my ornament, I'm going to use a silver metallic. Now, you can get this in any brand that you like. I don't know if Crafter's Collection even has that. I just happen to have that already in my stash. And I'm going to use a fine point paintbrush because you do have those little scallops there on the front. Now, you could choose to paint whichever you want first. If you want to do the cap first or do the body of the ornament first. But either or, you're going to have to still be careful how you paint around the little scallops on that cap. Now, these ornaments are so cute, and like I said, the endless possibilities. But probably one of the best possibilities is always scrapbook paper. Yeah, that's coming up, so you can count on that. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create polka dot ornaments, and I'm going to create imperfect polka dots on my ornaments. And the key word being imperfect. I don't care if they're all filled in and perfect. I love the look of just kind of an imperfect polka dot. Now, the one thing that I do want perfect is at least the outside border of the polka dot, but I don't care if it's all filled in. I really like the look of that. So I did not obsess about having it totally filled in. Now, do you want it totally filled in? Easy enough to do. Just make sure that you wiggle your sponge dauber, which, by the way, this is a 1/2-inch dauber. You can pick these up anywhere, any craft store, Walmart, anywhere. Love daubers for doing polka dots. Now, see how I wiggle it? That helps me to get my perimeter line, my delineating line of that circle. Now, again, not obsessing about perfection. You can if you want. But I like that imperfect polka dot. Now, I usually do most of my primary polka dots first. But important when you do this to place your spouncer or whatever you want to call it, just that little sponge applicator, straight down on the surface of the wood ornament. And then if you wiggle it a little bit, you'll be able to fill it in. Now, if you have spaces, once you lift your spouncer, that you want more filled in, easy enough. Place it straight down again, right inside the circle, and be careful to keep that same line. You'll see me go back and fill in some areas. Now, notice how I'm doing the circles that are coming off the edge. This really finishes the look. See how I do that? Sometimes I just need a sliver of a circle. Sometimes I need half a circle. On my next ornament, I think I did 3/4 of a circle going off the edge of my ornament. You can change these up and do it however you like. There are different size spouncers that you can use. You could do a smaller polka dot. You could mix your polka dots and do bigger ones and smaller ones. Oh my gosh, this is the cutest project. See how my circles are imperfect? And I really like that. But you do you. You can fill them in. Just what I do, I take a paper plate, as you can see there, and I dip my spouncer in the paint. And then I kind of dab it on my paper plate before I start applying it to my ornament. I don't want like a blob of paint. And I certainly don't want anything dripping off of my spouncer. So I'm careful to dab it a little bit after I put it in the paint. So now I'm going to do my white. And I'm going to do it exactly the same way. Now, what other options do you have for these ornaments? Well, you can use glitter. You can use a chunky glitter. You could use a fine glitter. On this particular ornament, I decided to use my ultra fine white glitter because I thought I would show you that you can make your polka dots shimmery with a ultra fine glitter or even a chunky glitter. That's up to you. So what I'm going to do after I put on my polka dots that you see me doing here, I love to do this. I just find this so, I don't know, somehow weirdly therapeutic. I just love doing it. See how I can go back but I always go straight in with my spouncer. Now, can you wash out your spouncers in between painting? Sure you can, but be careful to get all the paint out. After I wash mine thoroughly, I blot it off on a paper towel and make sure that I have all of the paint that I just previously used out of the dobber or spouncer, whatever you want to call it. Now these circles too, these polka dots, I don't care if they're perfect. I do like the outer line, as I mentioned, the perimeter, the outline of the polka dot. I want that defined. But as far as the inside, I'm okay if it's got a little bit of imperfection in it. I think this makes the cutest look. But again, like I said, fill it in if you like. Just go back with your paint, any areas that weren't totally filled in. Now, easy enough to put glitter on here after the paint dries. See how I perfected that line? After the paint dries, you could take a dauber. It could be even the one that you used to paint after you wash it out completely. And you're just going to daub on, or dab on, whatever word you want to use, Mod Podge right in the circles. And then you're just going to sprinkle your ultrafine glitter on there. And now you have a glittery polka dots. Let me tell you where these particular ornaments are fantastic. A Grinch tree. All right, I know a little bit about doing a Grinch tree. I perfected my Grinch tree over a couple of seasons of Christmas decorating. And I did a Grinch tree last year that was over the top. And I specialize in all things Grinch. And let me tell you how great these look on a Grinch tree. You could do that Grinch green, that citrusy green for the base color, and put red polka dots. You could glitter your red polka dots with red glitter. Or you could do it completely the opposite and make the base color red and do green, citrusy green glitter polka dots. They do have citrusy green glitter at Hobby Lobby. I'm sure that I wore quite a lot of that last year on my face. So I'm sure that I know about that green glitter. But oh my gosh, do you know how great these look on a Christmas tree? And they're the simplest ornament, but they have such an impact. Yeah, think about doing these with your kids. Think about doing these with your grandchildren. So fun. Yeah, these are so easy. To find those wood ornaments at Hobby Lobby, they're in that like department where they have all like the Christmas crafting stuff. Yeah, you better get a move on if you want some of these, because these are one of the first things, that disappear, because this is a big crafting season right now. So if you want those, get to Hobby Lobby and be sure that you get yours. They certainly are inexpensive enough. And think of the possibilities. If you did these in Grinch, there's great Grinch ribbons. Oh, yeah. Great for any tree, honestly. Great for any tree. This particular ornament. You could just make it your own, make it the theme that you want it to be, and have fun with it. Okay, so yeah, you know what's coming now? The glitter, and it's the easiest thing ever to do. Like I said, these are so crafter friendly, novice crafter friendly, beginner crafter friendly. So I do like a few polka dots at a time, because that Mod Podge just dries so quickly. So I just tap my finger on my glitter jar and just put a little bit. I don't put a lot, but it gives that a little bit of a shimmer. And you can't really tell by looking on the video, but it does. When you see them, especially on a tree, and then you can really tell with the lights shining on them, you get that glitter effect. All right, for the top of these ornaments, I think they need a bow, but then, I think everything pretty much needs a bow. But I'm going to use my favorite ribbon here for my first bow, and I'm just going to do my figure 8 bow on here. I'm going to do 4-loop bow, keeping it small, and then for the center, you could put anything you want in the center. You could put a bell, a little pom-pom, whatever it is you want to put. If you have a little tiny something to put in the center, you can. But I'm actually just creating my 4-loop figure 8 bow, and I'm just going to wrap it with a little piece of narrow ribbon for my center. Now I'm going to use my 26 gauge wire, and I'm going to wrap it really, really, really tight, because I want to gather up the center of that bow, and it makes it all the prettier if you do that. And then I'm going to snip off the excess, of course, and I'm going to be hot gluing that to the top of the ornament. But before I do that, I'm going to wrap the center with one of those narrow ribbons. That one precisely. Notice I chose a completely different ribbon for that, just to change it up a little bit. I just need a little piece. I don't need that much, but I cut that, and I'm going to start wrapping it on the back side of the bow so my seam is hidden. And I'm just going to use hot glue to secure that. I'm going to press my ribbon down, fold over the ribbon from the other side and hot glue that, snip off the excess, and my ribbon bow is complete. Super, super easy. Now you can create a little bow for the top of your ornament in any manner that you like. You can do finger bow or, yeah, whatever it is, however, the shoestring bow, whatever you want to do. But I do think a bow at the top is really the finishing touch on these wood ornaments. Whether I do a scrap of paper ornament or whether I do painting, yeah, that little extra step makes a difference. I'm putting mine right up there at the top in that little nook between the cap and the body of the ornament. I'm just going to pop it up there and perch it right up there next to my cap. Now I'm going to show you on the other ornament that I do that I put one of my bows directly under the cap. So I'm showing you different options, but I love that up there on the, as you're looking at it, up there on the left side. Now I need a hanger. It's so cute, right? Yeah, the most inexpensive ornament ever. So I decided to use that same narrow ribbon, poke it through the hole on my ornament, feed it through, determine how long I want my hanger. I love a ribbon hanger. You could use that red cord, that one that I always use, but I thought a cloth ribbon would be really nice for these ornaments. And again, I'm going to just overlap them, gluing it on top of itself or overlapping just like that. A little bit of hot glue will seal that up. And then I'm just going to shift that hanger like so and place the seam right in the hole. That way it's completely finished. You don't even see the seam of the hanger. Is that cute or what? Tell me what you think. Yeah, that's adorable. So I did 2 of those. Now I'm going to do the red one with the white polka dots and the glitter. You don't have to glitter. You could just leave it white if you like. That's up to you. I'm using that narrow ribbon that I got in the sewing department at Hobby Lobby. And I'm just creating, again, a figure 8 bow, 4 loops, small loops, using my craft wire, 26 gauge, to wrap around the center, pulling it super tight, twisting it in the back, scrunching up the center, and I'm going to wrap that one as well with a little piece of ribbon. Now, I hope you're feeling inspired while you watch this and thinking about how you could create some of these really cute ornaments for your tree, or how you could create them with your kids. I love the idea of that. And your grandchildren. Okay, so I'm going to wrap the center of this ornament with that polka dot. Same way I wrapped the other one. Now you could use, what would be really cute on this red one with the white polka dots, maybe a white satin narrow ribbon. That would be cute as well, just playing on the whites. Okay, now this ribbon or this bow, I put this right under the cap. I thought about putting it there and I said, nope, let's try something different just to show you. And I love it. Looks super cute under the cap. Pop a dab of glue there. Couldn't be easier. Trim up your tails. I do think leaving some tails hanging down is a great idea. Oh my goodness, look how cute that is. I say cute a lot, don't I? Yeah, well, when I'm doing ornaments like this, I can't help myself. So much fun to do these. Okay, so I decided to change it up. I happen to have this ribbon that says Merry Christmas. It's a real pretty little white satin ribbon, very narrow. And I'm just going to pop that right in the hole and just, use something a little bit different that you don't normally see me using. If I could get that in the hole, that is. Come on, Dwayne, you can do it. Maybe not. Okay. Attempt number 2. I got it through. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I think I cut my ribbon off a little bit short on this one, so my hanger wasn't very long, and I ended up doing it again. Yeah, because that's the way I am. It has to be right, or else I'm not happy. Okay, so I'm doing it again. I poked it right through the hole, and I wanted my hanger a little bit longer on that. And I'm going to just overlap that just like I did the other ones. I was even trying to marry up the words, Merry Christmas. No pun intended. I was trying to match it so it was a continuous pattern of Merry Christmas. And I think I actually came close to doing that, but I didn't obsess over it. Okay, cut it off, and then I'm just going to bring that down and conceal that seam right there in the hole. Look how finished and nice that looks. So I did 2 of those, and yeah. So that ribbon, I'm going to make another bow there, and that's it. This one was short for me anyway, but anyway, you can see my very cute little lace-covered gingerbread ornament there. And then my polka dot ones, and I hope you feel inspired to run to Hobby Lobby and get some of those wood ornaments. They have 2 different kinds. They have another one as well, which will work just fine. It's very similar. Okay, so let me know what you think of these. And until next time, you all take care.